It's your boy ICU, aka I cooked up another banger for y'all boys, man. And in today's video, we got what do artists do after they fall off. Now, I want to react to this topic because, like, what happened to Fetty Wap? What happened to Yo Gotti? What happened to all these rappers, bro? So let's just, you know what I'm saying? Let's get right into it.
According to Exposure Music, 76% of musicians are not able to sustain themselves financially through their music-related activities. And if you do make it big as a musician, it can be very difficult to make that career last.
That's
Many
true.
Artists come and go over the
That's
years,
same with content
which may leave you
creation.
wondering, what do artists do after they fall off? Some may pursue other careers in the music industry, while others may switch lanes entirely. So today we're going to be looking into this, starting off with Blueface. Real quick, I want to shout out my guy
Blueface,
because this video
Buzz
is
down
inspired by
Tatiana.
his about rapping.
Oh, what happened to Blueface?
Examples from his video and see like what artists in the wider music industry do. So in this video, we got tons of different examples of things artists can do to leverage their past fame and experience to pave a new path for themselves. Also, while most artists in this video pretty much did fall off, there were a couple that pivoted before they like had the chance to fall off.
What happened to Roddy?
I think it's interesting to see.
Roddy Ricch is another one, bro. If Roddy Ricch is, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't think Roddy Ricch really fell off because he was still uploading music while, you know what I'm saying, his views were, damn, I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. Why the fuck am I yapping, bro? Let me stop.
See what these guys in particular did after
I staged yapping for no reason.
And you guys will see what I mean, so let's continue. Blueface blew up in 2018 with his track Respect.
Roddy Ricch hard though.
Since releasing that song, it's gotten over 55 million plays on Spotify and even a remix with Snoop Dogg. Blueface's strange style, where many thought it sounded like he was rapping off beat, really caught people's attention. He then dropped the track Bleed It, which I honestly forgot about till researching this video, but that track was a banger. He continued his run by dropping the song Tatiana, which I'm sure you guys remember. It got remixes from Cardi B and
That shit's
YG.
so hard.
Collectively, all the versions of that track have racked
He's
up
ass though.
hundreds
I'm
of
sorry.
millions of streams. Well, he was
Blueface, you suck. But that song was hard. I'm sorry, bro. Like, you funny. You a funny guy, bro, from the clips I see, but that song was ass.
still
I'm
hot.
gonna be
He was
honest.
planning on releasing his
The
debut
songs
studio
you were
album,
dropping,
Find It
the songs you were dropping before Moonwalking in the Calabasas were trash, bro. I'm sorry.
Beat, which was
I know I'm a yapper, but
based on what people
I'm sorry.
were saying about his music. But the album got delayed a few times, and when it did release in 2020, it only sold 12,000 copies first week, which wasn't that great. And this is when his fall off seemed to begin. Part of this, in my opinion, was all of his controversies, which seemed to draw the attention away from his music. He said himself in an interview with the New York Times, getting to this point probably took about 25% music. He attributed the rest of his success to marketing, promotion, and being yourself. And like I said, Blueface was great at this part because he was great at marketing and promoting himself.
He was great at marketing.
A lot of things outside of music that helped keep his name in the headlines. So as money was likely slowing up along with his numbers music-wise, Blueface decided to launch an OnlyFans. But it wasn't your conventional OnlyFans
what the fuck
you might be thinking.
I know
Blueface created.
He probably launched one for like growth and shit, trying to teach you how to become a rapper and shit. I know.
A reality show
I know the game
called Blue Girls Club. It was supposed to be similar to the reality TV show called Bad Girls Club, and according to Business Insider, the show, shot in October 2020, followed 10 women over 18 episodes in 21 days as they fought, played drinking games, and hung out in the same house with the rapper. Instead of a cash prize like most shows, the women were promised that they could promote their social media profiles and possibly get famous. To watch the show, you had to pay $50 a month on a subscription to his OnlyFans page. The show was actually extremely successful for Blueface and he made over 800,000 in less than a year. He said on IG, "If you can find a way on OnlyFans without showing your private parts, I highly recommend. Crazy work, good salary." So like many others you'll see on this list, Blueface was able to leverage his previous fame into a new stream of revenue. And Blueface really demonstrated the power of social media and making money off of it. However, that doesn't mean his show came without controversy.
Let me say this, bro. Blueface is a smart ass guy, bro. He's very smart. Him and Chrisean Rock, that was a smart ass couple. They smart, bro. They know how to market. They not, bro. Chrisean Rock not throwing chairs into Kai's wall for no reason. She knew that bitch was gonna go viral on TikTok. That's why she did it. She's not doing that shit for no reason, bro. So when the internet go and bash them for being stupid, so-called, quote unquote stupid, but y'all still watch them, they're marketing. Dummy.
According to Business Insider, at one point,
I'm not talking to
there were
y'all, but, you
4,000
know,
users
talking to
signed
whoever
up, paying between 30 and
be
50
bashing
a month,
him.
so he was making well over 100,000 a month. And apparently, the girls weren't seeing any of this money. It was a very poorly put together production. There wasn't much food for the girls. There was tons of alcohol. They took the girls' phones, and there was constant fighting. Krishan Rock, who actually met Blueface on this show, lost a tooth. One girl Business Insider interviewed said that the security guards would instigate fights. Apparently, there were 14 big fights that were posted on the OnlyFans, with more off camera. One person on Reddit said, "I watched the whole first season. There literally is so much to say about it. There's barely any rules set in place for real, and it makes no sense what their goal actually is. Even the girls are confused sometimes on what exactly they win. The formatting makes no sense, and I could get further into it, but it's not nearly as important as how he's not put a single thought into the care of these women." Throughout a couple of episodes, the girls confront Blueface and his friends about what they're going to eat, when is food going to get there, etc. He got these girls beating on each other at 7 a.m. and eating Cheetos for dinner. In the first 72 hours, 2 of the girls already had broken teeth and bones. Eventually, those 2 of the girls did.
Blueface didn't give a fuck. He said, I'm making my money. Y'all gotta buy your own food. Y'all coming for entertainment purposes only. Y'all not getting shit from me. Yo, that's fucked up though. I ain't gonna lie. That
get signed to Blueface's label,
Dog,
but
what?
he didn't help anyone's careers like he had promised. So basically, while he may have made bank, the show was a disaster. Eventually, when the show was over, Blueface pivoted to
That boy was boxing?
like celebrity boxing, and of course, after meeting Krishan Rock, on
Where
the
have I
show,
been?
he began dating and had an extremely publicized and controversial relationship. Most recently, he actually landed himself in prison with a 3-year sentence. So while his pivot worked for a while, his inability to avoid controversy and legal issues ended up winning in the long run. More on that in a future video. So while Blueface was able to pivot and make some good money, he ended up making some bad choices. But MC Hammer did the opposite. MC Hammer is an artist who actually started out in a Christian rap group called the Holy Ghost Boys back in the 80s, which is
Not gonna
interesting to
lie.
keep in mind going forward. He was
Not gonna lie, I may look like Unc. I may look like I'm 35 or 40. You know what I'm saying? 35 and 40 is not old, by the way. But I'm talking about like 1980s, bro. I was not born in 1980s, so I don't know who this guy is. No disrespect to this guy, though. He might have been a legend back in 1980s, but I never heard of him.
He was also rapping solo on the side, and by
MC Hammer. I've
1986,
never heard of
decided
him.
to put out his first album as MC Hammer. It sold 60,000 units, and Hammer got his first taste of success. But Hammer decided to go a bit more commercial on his next project. He further developed his flashy style with the Hammer pants, which were actually named after him, which is pretty cool. And then in 1988, he released the album Let's Get It Started, which was way more successful. But then
Never mind.
1990 called
I thought it was talking about, let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
He went crazy, especially because he had the hit single You Can't Touch This. He also had tracks like Pray that were super successful as well. I mean, I'm sure you guys are fairly aware of how successful MC Hammer was in the late 80s and early 90s. But then with all the crazy money he was making, he started spending it like crazy too. According to Wikipedia, MC Hammer originally had a net worth of $33 million. But after spending so much money on his staff, friends, family, and himself, he ended up $13 million in debt.
He made sure
What?
he spent his pile, which
13
included
mil?
Boeing 727, and by 1996 he was broke.
Not one, not two, not three, but 13?
In a momentary
God
fashion,
damn!
and watch the bottom line, we wouldn't have had to file a bankruptcy. That was a mistake.
He even had 17 cars, which is a little bit overkill. In my
17?
opinion. So MC Hammer had to file for bankruptcy in April of 1996. And it seemed like because of this,
Wow.
Hammer decided to return to his roots. Over the years, Hammer has expressed that during his immense success, he strayed away from his faith in God. But after his bankruptcy, he came back to faith after realizing that money isn't really what makes you happy. He also attributed part of his return to Christianity to the death of Tupac, who was a friend of his. He said to the Los Angeles Times, "Whether the bankruptcy played any role in my refocusing, that's great. Hallelujah, I hope it did. But the most important part of what occurred to me
all
was
eyes
love,
on me."
missing the love of God in the way that I had known it.
It was W
One
Biggie
day
too,
I just
though.
woke up and said, you know what? This is not me.
I don't play no
You know,
sides.
it was just an accumulation. Enough is enough.
We're here to celebrate.
I'm just a
Jesus.
content creator.
This is not about MC Hammer.
I want to travel the world. I've been around the world 7 times, 8 times. You know, there wasn't anything that I haven't done except for I knew in my heart that I was no longer a part of the body of Christ.
So in 1997, Hammer became an ordained minister and began preaching in churches regularly. He also created a TV ministry called MC Hammer and Friends. And probably one of the cooler and more interesting things is that he began prison ministry as well. He even married people too, which is crazy. Could you imagine getting married by MC Hammer? That would be cool. Now I will admit that Hammer isn't the best example.
That'd be cool,
dude, because he has continued putting
stop.
out music after his bankruptcy, although he did shift his focus to the church. He had always had Christian themes in his music, like with one of his tracks being the song Pray, but he doubled down on these messages in his newer music. He even said that he wanted to make sure that in his music going forward, he had at least one Christian track per album. So it's really cool to see that while the money started drying up, MC Hammer realized what was important in his life and was able to pursue that, while still being able to continue releasing music as well, even though that wasn't the main focus, and the real main focus was spreading his message. And while MC Hammer decided to pivot almost entirely after his main music career, New Radicals decided to continue working in the music industry behind the scenes. New Radicals is a band you may remember from their hit song You Get What You Give.
New Radicals?
The main duo of this band was Greg Alexander and Danielle Brisebois.
Bro.
And they formed the band in 97. They had some solo...
Our music taste got to be totally different. New Radicals? I ain't gonna lie, bro. I might be slow, though. I might just be slow.
music out before they created the band, which allowed for them to get a record deal. They got a nice advance to create their album, Maybe You've Been Brainwashed Too. It was fairly successful and peaked at 41 on the Billboard 200, and eventually it went platinum. They followed up with their hit single, You Get What You Give. You know that song that goes... That's the song. The song has nearly 500 million streams on Spotify and peaked at 36 on the Billboard Hot 100. Not gonna lie, I would have thought this song was a bit more popular, but regardless, it was still very successful. However, after all of this success, the band decided to break up. The reason that they broke up is because they, more specifically Greg, didn't think that they could reach the level of success they did with Get What You Give. The lead singer Greg said at a press release, "It was an experience playing the artist, but I accomplished all of my goals with this record, and I'm ready to move on and make the next step in my career. I've been writing songs for and working with artists as varied as R&B acts to Belinda Carlisle intermittently for the last 9 years, and I'm looking forward to starting the day-to-day creative process of building a successful production company." He also said that he was about to be 30 and wasn't a big fan of all the traveling and hardly getting any sleep. So like he said, he had already been a writer and he wanted to get back to being behind the scenes in the music industry. This is pretty common for a lot of artists in the industry who may not be as successful as they once were, so a lot of them begin producing, writing songs, or creating production companies. And New Radicals, more specifically Greg, is a good example of this. To be fair, New Radicals probably could have had more success if Greg let them have the chance, so they didn't quite fall off. However, Greg seemed to think they would have had they continued putting out music, so Greg went on to be a writer. His previous producer from when he was a solo artist, Rick Knoll, helped him get some opportunities as a songwriter, as Rick had written a ton over the years. Rick had actually helped co-write You Get What You Give, so the two started writing songs as a duo. They even wrote the song The Game of Love by Santana, which even won a Grammy. Greg has gone on to write for people like Rod Stewart, Texas, Enrique Iglesias, and more. So it's cool to see how Greg was able to use his previous connects in the music industry to help move forward his career as a songwriter. And New Radicals has performed a couple of times since the breakup, and they even performed at Joe Biden's inauguration. So while New Radicals, more specifically Greg, was able to forward their careers in the music industry,
them boys got motion.
Fetty Wap seemed to have to resort to some much more drastic measures.
Fetty Wap! Yeah, baby. 1738. Hey, I'm like, hey, what's up? Hello.
Again, Fetty Wap is another artist who blew up off his commercial single Trap Queen. He was notable for his unique singing voice that was super catchy, so this song became...
He's still a GOAT to this day. But back in 2016, that nigga had the whole world on locks, nigga. Nigga, Fetty Wap had the whole world on locks, bro. We cannot lie about that, bro. I can't believe people forgot about Fetty Wap. I was surprised Fetty Wap wasn't on the Mafia-thon. I'm not gonna lie.
Became an instant hit. The song peaked
Fetty Wap,
at 2
bro.
on the Billboard Hot 100 and spent 25 weeks in the top 10.
How we forget about a legend?
Remember how big this song
Come
was.
on, Kai.
Anyways, because of the
Unless
success
Kai
of this
tried, I
song,
don't know.
Some of Fetty Wap's following songs like 679, My Way, Again, and more began blowing up. But it seemed like as time went on,
Baby,
the hype
won't you
died
go
down.
my
With each track he put out, it seemed like the
way?
streams were going down, even when he was collaborating with artists like Nicki Minaj. And as the numbers started slowing up, so did his money, especially because he had so many expenses from his lavish lifestyle.
I went to the bank again, and that shit was like, hold. I'm like, what the fuck, man? the fuck do that mean? Like,
So you try to take money out and they're like, oh no, there's a hold on it.
yeah, and then I went to call to my other account, like, yo, can you send me this? He's like, yo, bro, I gotta talk to you. And I'm like, what you talking about? And yeah, so for like, I think for like 6 months, yeah, I was broke, bro.
Damn, they had your whole like account on freeze. It wasn't like no taxes shit or nothing.
Nah.
Like that. Damn. So you just, and by the way, this happens to a lot of like, you know, entertainment. Like you don't know, probably paying so much fucking bills. You don't know exactly what your name is on, what you
I
owe.
was doing like 150,000 a month in bills, but I was, see, that's the dumbest shit I was doing. Like, matter of fact, yeah, if I had to, it was jewelry and like apartments. I had a lot of fucking apartments.
Fetty seemed like he was a good dude.
I'm not gonna lie, respect to Fetty Wap for even coming out and saying that on an interview, bro. Like, most rappers and stuff, bro, they struggling too, but they're not gonna come out and say they're struggling. They're gonna show you all the highlights. They're gonna make you feel like they're on top of the fucking world. Behind the scenes, they sad, bro. And I know they are, bro. Some of them. I know this, bro. Trust me.
Who was really trying to put his friends on, buying them stuff like apartments, jewelry, bringing them on stage, and putting them.
Not
on
all
songs.
rappers got motion, bro. I mean, they got motion. Obviously, they got motion, but their motion is slowing down, so they gotta play a fake character to keep their. You know what I'm saying? Y'all should know what I'm trying to say, bro. Their style, bro, because rappers go with style and chains and jewelry and. You know what I'm saying? Fucking watches and shit, bro. They gotta keep their
paying for all of their expenses,
their,
buying them all chains, spending
$45,000
$45,000 on
the
jeans
style
just
up,
so
bro. I don't
everyone
know,
could have
bro.
a
I
pair,
forgot, bro.
bringing
I'm
them
sleepy
all on
right now.
stage during his shows. He wanted to show everyone the lifestyle,
Damn.
not because he felt pressure, but because he genuinely.
Now I gotta
loved
make this
his
video
people.
though.
There was even this whole controversy where Fetty got.
I want to watch this video
with Drake, but Drake's team didn't want Fetty's friend Monty on the track, so Fetty never officially put out the remix, which definitely hurt him commercially. So as I'm sure you guys could imagine, with all the money he was spending, like 150K a month, Fetty started going broke. He even responded to the criticism.
Yeah,
when he started
150K
falling off, with someone saying in his IG
in
comments,
bills?
"I actually don't know how you fell off." To which Fetty Wap said, "Bad business managers, greed, and selfishness. But it's almost over. I got rid of all that goofy shit around me. Now I can focus on the music, and I'm going the fuck up. Just watch." And to be fair, he did have a mini comeback with the banger Sweet Yams in 2022, but unfortunately it was all for naught because in 2021 Fetty Wap was arrested on drug charges. See, when Fetty Wap began declining, he started selling drugs. Then when he was arrested in 2021, he was indicted on charges of 1 count of conspiracy to distribute and possess controlled substances. They said, as alleged, the defendants transported, distributed, and sold more than 100 kilograms of deadly and addictive drugs, including heroin and fentanyl, on Long Island, deliberately continuing the opioid epidemic that has devastated our communities and taken too many lives. His lawyer said that he had been supporting relatives and kids with the money that he made from it, and he said to the judge, "I only ever wanted to help my family. I never asked myself if it was all the way right." Also, prosecutors were trying to say that the song Sweet Yams was about drugs, which is so dumb. It was clearly about yams. But the judge pointed out how Fetty Wap was only involved with the drug stuff for like 6 months, so he only got 1 year above the minimum, which was a 6-year sentence to prison. He's since said in an interview with XXL, "Nobody made me do it. Nobody forced me to do it. When I put myself in that situation, I really think for the long run. I'm thinking I could just run up a few $1,000,000 and I'm gonna be good forever." So it's definitely kind of sad how he lost all his money in his career, and the fact he has kids too and is locked up for 6 years. So hopefully Fetty can get out early and get back to making some banger tracks, because that Sweet Yams,
he's gonna be back making bangers. I'm telling you,
Fetty Wap might be back, so I hope
he's talented, bro.
Fetty Wap may have made
Fetty
some
Wap
bad
is talented
choices following his music career. Mark Wahlberg got very lucky following his ventures in music. Now you may think I'm crazy putting Mark Wahlberg in here, but hear me out.
I've seen this guy before.
Was Mark
Eminem?
before
Wait,
he got into acting.
no, never mind.
What's up?
I'm
This
tripping.
is me, Marky Mark, my man HB, and you're chilling on Team Vit.
So Mark Wahlberg's older brothers, Robert and Donnie, were actors and singers respectively. Donnie was one of the founding members of New Kids on the Block when he was just 15. He let his younger brother Mark join the group when Mark was just 13, but Mark left pretty quickly because he realized he wasn't that good. Ironically, after committing a spree of racially motivated attacks in the late 80s as a teenager, Mark decided to become a rapper. In 1990, Mark began making music with Scotty G, Hector the Booty Inspector, Ashley Ace, and DJ T. They were called Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. By this point, New Kids on the Block was already fairly popular, and I could be totally wrong about this, but it is possible that their popularity helped out Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch, although Mark would disagree.
Now, I mean, my brother's has a lot of success and stuff, and I have an album coming out, and I worked hard for it, though, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people will think, oh, his brother's rich and this and that, you know. he's just, you know what I'm saying, everything's been handed to him. You know, a lot of people say that to me now. I worked hard for it though, you know what I'm saying?
Regardless, they released their debut album, Music for the People, in July of 1991. It charted at 21 on the Billboard 200, and they had 2 top 10 singles. Good Vibrations, which hit number 1 on the Hot 100, and Wild Side, which hit number 10. Also, random fun fact, according to Wikipedia, they released a video game called Make My Video, which apparently was regarded as one of the worst video games of all time. Anyways, their next album, You Gotta Believe, only charted at 67 on the Billboard 200 and had 1 single hit 49, so it didn't do nearly as well. Following this album, apart from a track on the Super Mario Bros. Soundtrack for some reason, the group disbanded, likely because of the lack of success on their previous album. Then Mark continued making music, producing for a label called East West Records. Then he started working with the reggae singer Prince Itel Joe, and they made an album together that did very well in Germany, along with the track United. Honestly, it's kind of hard for me to say Mark fully fell off because of the success he had in the US and then, you know, the success he had in Germany afterwards. But most white rapper acts like himself, like Vanilla Ice for example, seem to have a short shelf life. I mean, I don't think this was going to last super long.
I think it's time I kick a little verse. See, some do hip-hop and forget where it started. The claiming a white complexion ain't the reason why their records charted, please. I mean, it's so easy to see. When a white dude raps, the public sees it as a novelty. Even me, although I take it seriously, some just like me because of my RACE, but I won't quit and I won't stop.
Yeah, I won't stop until I hit the top.
So
And I'm about to rap on hip-hop.
Sexy. I mean, I even saw people calling him a sexy of the 90s. So he did some modeling for Calvin Klein. He actually was picked out for this sponsorship because of him displaying his physique in Good Vibration music
you already know.
Really interesting. But the thing people know him most for is acting. It's like
my name is Cook, though.
From his brothers and also being relatively
I'm really a rapper,
in the
bro.
Music industry. He was able to start acting in 1993.
I chose to do this content
throughout
shit.
The 90s,
I'm saying,
he
give them rappers a chance.
Bigger roles. It was after his first role in The Substitute that he dropped the name Marky Mark, and it seemed like he made up his mind about being an actor instead of a rapper. And honestly, I'm sure you guys know how successful Mark Wahlberg has become after becoming an actor, and maybe you've eaten one of his burgers over at Wahlburgers. They're pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. So it's interesting to see how he used his previous popularity to pivot into some modeling, but you know, a lot of acting. And I think it's interesting to see how all of these artists, for the most part, other than I guess Fetty Wap, were able to leverage their success and turn that into either a different career or a similar career or something.
Man, Fetty Wap finna bounce back.
Another artist.
It's a minor setback for a major comeback, bro. Fetty Wap is finna, bro. Fetty Wap is finna snap in y'all boys, man. Y'all better stop playing with Fetty. Fetty Wap could come back and snap, bro. That's not no glazing shit either. Fetty Wap is hard. Literally, easily top 10, if not top 5. Arguably, I wouldn't even be surprised if somebody said top 3. Not gonna lie.
Who kind of fell off and pivoted to television, more specifically reality TV. I actually covered him in my video called Famous Musicians Who Work Odd Jobs Now, alongside other artists with similar and interesting stories to the one in this video. So if you like this video, make sure to check out the one that's on the screen right now.
All right, well, that's the end of the video. Before I end this video, man, I want to thank y'all for getting me to 200 subscribers, man. I love y'all boys, man. I love all y'all, man. I love all y'all supporters, man. I love y'all, bro, for real. But comment down below any reactions y'all want me to react to. I mean, any videos y'all want me to react to. And like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? Like and subscribe. Until next time, we out, bro.